Let's talk about Chris Paul and Patrick Beverley real quick. The reason why we're doing this video is because Chris Paul was a guest on the Draymond Green podcast. And Draymond Green, as you know, it will ask the tough questions. So he asked Chris Paul to reminisce on how he felt when Pat Beverley called him out and called him a cone on defense. So what we're going to do is we're going to play what Pat Beverley had to say about Chris Paul, I want to say 3-4 years ago. And then we're going to come back and play what Chris Paul had to say as a response, so you have all the context. Then we're going to come back and react to it. But before I do so, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Man, we gonna be honest? We want to be really honest?
Yes.
He should have fouled out. He should have fouled out. The last game, too. You see the replay against Brunson, hit him on the shoulder, hit him in the mouth, ref don't call anything. If that's me, review it. Flagrant one. If that's him, they don't call it. So let's not get it twisted, man. He should have fouled out. He can't guard. He literally can't guard.
He can't guard.
Yeah.
He can't. Chris Paul can't guard anybody? Is that what you say?
Did you see that? No, he can't. Everyone knows that.
Excuse me. No. I don't know that. I haven't heard anybody tell me that.
Because you haven't suited up. You know, guys don't like to tell you all the truth. You know that. Because they scared. They scared what you going to take with it.
No, he's right about that. They will lie. He's honest. They will lie. That is true. He's not lying about that.
CP can't guard nobody, man. Everybody in the NBA know that. Everybody know that.
Can't guard anybody.
What we call them? Cone. You know what you do with cones? Like when in the summertime, you got a cone. You make a move. What does the cone do?
Stay still.
Exactly. He's a cone. Stop playing, man.
Everybody right.
Patrick Beverley said Chris Paul is a chair. 9-time all defensive team, 7 first team. Did you think about saying something about it? Did you not see it?
It made it to me. First and foremost, pair of lips to say anything. I get it. I done had many a times in my career where somebody done said this or said that. The work speaks for itself. I still compete on defense every night as best. I'm probably not the defender I was some years ago.
When he did that, I was like, whoa, I was like, damn, it's so hot. If you actually really listen to Pat talk, he say some good shit. But I was like, because when I saw that, I'm like, don't become the hot take guy.
The world that we in now, people gonna say something. You got to give it that 24 hours. I'm not a guy who, when something happened, I run to my phone, you know what I'm saying, and post this or post that or whatnot. You just stand on the work.
So there you have it. So for those of you that don't know, Pat Beverley currently has his own podcast with a guy called Rome, if I'm not mistaken. I like this podcast. I feel like this Pat Beverley, as a quote-unquote broadcaster, new media guy, is good. The clip that I just played from Pat Beverley, though, it was from his early beginnings on TV, and it felt like he was doing too much for me. At first, I did like him because it felt like he came in to talk the truth, to be fearless, and call it how it was, right? Until they asked him to actually discuss his homies, and then he started sugarcoating and everything. So I was like, yeah, Pat Beverley is just up there calling and handling his business, pretty much going at the guys that he don't like. That's what he's doing on TV. I did not like that. And we all know that Pat Beverley has had a rocky relationship with Chris Paul, so it's not surprising. During his career, Pat Beverley has always been a top competitor, right? And he's always been willing to go to as far as he needed to compete against the greatest point guards of the generation. So that's Stephen Curry, that's Chris Paul, that's Russell Westbrook, that's Dame Dollar, right? And with Stephen Curry, he never really beefed like that just because Steph is just way too far away from him, and what you going to beef with Steph Curry for? With Russell Westbrook, he got pretty heated until they both played for the Lakers, and now they're reportedly best friends now, so shout out to them. With Dame, nothing really happened just because Lillard is not really talking like that on the court. But with Chris Paul, though, Chris Paul, it looks like the guy who will talk to you, say some slick stuff, and if he knows for a fact that he's way better than you and that he's punching down, it'll make you feel like it. And Pat Beverley cannot stand it. Like pretty much that big ass hating ass statement that he made about Chris Paul, that was after he had to push him from the back when Chris Paul got done dropping 40 on him, Game 6, conference finals to go on to the finals. And Chris Paul got up and laughed it off pretty much. Like they don't like each other. And Chris Paul, it seems like he generally does not care about Pat Beverley, but Pat Beverley's like, yeah, man, I'm on your ass every time I see you. So now let's talk about what Pat Beverley actually had to say. the defense part. Come on, bro. Come on, Pat Bev. Chris Paul is currently 38. He's not good anymore on defense. You can argue that he's not even that good on offense anymore. He can still run the team or whatever, but he's just a passer. As a scorer, he kind of lost it. He's kind of too banged up now. But if we're talking prime Chris Paul as a defender, that man was a beast out there. And I was like, man, I'm not even sure that Pat Beverley at his peak on defense is actually a better defender than Chris Paul. So what I went and did is check the stats and check the resume. Just like Chris Paul said, he said the work speaks for itself. So I was like, let's go look up the work. So let's compare resumes, just defense, right? Pat Beverley, he made All-NBA first team in 2017. And he made All-NBA second team 2014, 2020. So obviously we're just talking defense. And his defensive rating for his career is 109.4. Now, if you look at Chris Paul's resume, he made All-NBA first team, All-Defense 8 times, second team twice. So that's 10 All-NBA defensive teams to 3. If we look at defensive rating, Chris Paul has a defensive rating of 105.7. So for those of you that don't know how you read defensive rating, pretty much the lower it is, the best it is. So Chris Paul has a better defensive rating than Patrick Beverley. How can you explain that? Some people would say, yeah, Pat Beverley is usually guarding the toughest matchup, and that's not Chris Paul. I do agree with that to some degree, although in his prime, Chris Paul was guarding the best point guards on the opposing teams, because in his prime, the point guards weren't as tall as they are right now, and he had the legs to actually follow. He was actually embracing those challenges. I remember Chris Paul battling with Tony Parker, with the likes of Derrick Rose, with the likes of Stephen Curry. Hell, we got that clip of Chris Paul getting tripped up by Stephen Curry with the double behind the back, losing his ankles that went viral for years, or Stephen Curry crossing him up without even looking at him because he was trying to guard Stephen Curry one-on-one. This is why we got that. You know what I'm saying? So he was out there playing defense. I also seen Chris Paul in the playoffs being switched on KD and locking that shit up. That did happen. We're just talking few possessions, obviously, but that did happen. Pat Beverley did do the same for one game against KD. I do remember that, but then KD was like, y'all know who I am, right? And he dropped 50. So that's not even the point. Chris Paul, even if he's not as good as Pat Beverley on defense, which is still arguable, calling him a cone is just hate. Like, Chris Paul is a good defender. He was a good defender. And still to this day, he will steal the ball. He will. Chris Paul is one of the best guys at reading the defenses, anticipating passes, or just stripping you off the ball, and he'll get the steals. Matter of fact, he ranks 3rd all time in total steals. So, yeah, Chris Paul is a good defender. Pat Beverley was just talking, hating, and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, shout out to Pat Bev for the new podcast, though. I do like the new podcast. And, yeah, we wish Chris Paul a speedy recovery. Hopefully he can come back, help the Warriors, and let's see if they make a run or whatever. Anyways, we're going to cut the video right here. It's been your boy. If you made it this far, I appreciate you guys for checking me out as always. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, y'all know what this is. Let's get in that comment section, have that conversation. Do you believe Chris Paul is overrated on defense? And who between prime Pat Beverley and prime Chris Paul was the best defender? It's been your boy. See you guys later. Peace.